All right, guys. How you guys doing today? Tim Fielder, Dieselfunk Dispatch. I believe that we now have everything active on both channels on YouTube. Dieselfunk, Dieselfunk Dispatch, Facebook, Twitch. Even though I'm a little bit tricky with the chat on Twitch, and I think Instagram. In fact, I see a live video with Instagram on it. So this is good. This is really quite nice. So we're going to need you guys to hang tight with us. You all know I'm one of the more technically inept people on the planet Earth. So hang with me today. I want to thank everybody for chiming in. This is the end of my second week trying to do this, engage aggressively this new world, utilizing not just advanced technology, but utilizing interacting with audience. I mean, I can talk, you guys can see that, but being able to talk to you consistently is something that I have not done. And so that's really what I'm doing today. Today's subject, because I went through my thing yesterday. I want to thank everybody again for joining in. My good friend Jason Johnson, who you guys might know, he's a political commentator on MSNBC, and he has his own YouTube channel. Please go and subscribe on his YouTube channel. I think it's important because he sheds a lot of light for the rest of us imbeciles out there. And he tends to be pretty accurate, which is actually quite scary. But hey, that's what he does. What can I say? Any rate, today we are going to be showcasing how I do hip-hop portraiture. So you guys know I have this book here. I got my reading glass here. That's what happens when you get a little bit old. See what I'm saying? You can't see as well, so let me pop that there. There we go. We got that straight. This book here, this is the book that I do with my partner, Walter Grayson, called The Graphic History of Hip Hop. As you can see there, we have this is a version I bought from the Smithsonian. Right? Hello, Afro Puffs 5. Thank you so much for joining the stream today. You can actually see me. It's incredible. And Blurty Womaness. Thank you, Blurty Womaness. Hello, Blurty Womaness. I love your handle, by the way. I'm going to be doing my thing. So today, I do graphic novels because, I was told I had one of my former students who I love dearly, Ed Prince. Please go to his YouTube page as well. He's a huge gamer. Gamer guy is ridiculous. Hey, what's happening? Let me type in hey there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I know. Hey, I'm still getting this chat things together. So, but hey, Blurty Womaness, and hello, AfroPuff 5. Hello, everybody. So anyway, the objective today, I do comics, my graphic novels. I generally show the comics I'm working on. So the books that will eventually be published, I show the entire process as much as I can. I showcase how I use technology. In the next week or two, probably 2 weeks, because I got to go to San Diego Comic Con next week. I want to start seeing if I can deploy the usage of my PC, because in my studio here, I have a big 32-inch Cintiq. That's where the light is coming from here. And as a matter of fact, I probably, let's see here. It might be a little weird here. I'm sorry. I'm dropping stuff on the floor. I was supposed to use an off light. Is that helping any? Probably not. It don't matter. Hey, anyway, you should be able to see me because I got my color light like the bridge of the Enterprise there. But anyway, I have multiple cameras going. I don't know if the overhead camera is going to go. We're going to see if I can work that out. But I'm going to be doing hip hop portraiture. You God is the one who was on Ari Melba's show with Jason 2 days ago, and Jason, just continually a gracious man, had the graphic history of hip hop in his backlist. As a matter of fact, let's see if we can go to Safari here. Can we go to Safari? Let's see. Will it work? Will it work? Have I oh my God, it's not working. Let's see here. Why is Safari not working? I think I see what the issue is. We're going to copy this. We're going to go over here, and then we're going to hit paste. There we go. So you guys should have. I'm still learning this Mail Studio thing, guys. So stick with me there. But at any rate, there it is. So what I'm going to be doing today is let's close out here, and we're going to go here, and I'm going to go on Instagram again. And I'm going to very quickly go to Jason's page. I think it's Jason. Oh, there he is. It's You God. All right. And he was on, there it is, right there. And you can see Ari Melber doing his thing, and it was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And wow, look at that. So we pause that. You can see here, right in the background, zooming out. I hate it when it's not working. But you see the graphic history of hip hop, and that was very, very emotional for Walter, both me and Walter. And I was actually surprised and pleasantly pleased that Jason was thoughtful enough to put us next to Hip Hop Family Tree, which is a very important book that was done by the late Ed Pisker, who passed away last year. So anyway, so I'm going to be drawing a picture of You God today. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Let me say for clarity's sake that I am a square. I've always been a square. I'm going to continue to be a square. And I am a square. I'm sorry I'm a square, but I've always been a square, and I need you guys to extend a little grace, if you could. That would be much, much appreciative. Okay, so I'm moving some of these images around here. All right, now, in addition to drawing a little portraiture today, because, people see me draw comics, but they really need to see me doing a bunch of different things as well. I'm going to show you how I utilize animation in Photoshop. Right? Photoshop is capable of doing 3 different sets of animation. And the thing is, I don't want this stuff to get bogged down with tutorials. I'm just showing you what I'm doing, how I'm working. And if I tell you guys what I'm doing and how I'm doing it as I go along, if you get something from it, great. If you don't, that's okay as well. All right. So let's go back to, I got my overhead. I'm sorry, will my overhead view come down? Yeah, there it is. Oh, it's not in that part. No worries. I think we can hook that up. Hang on 1 second there, guys. Hang on. Whoops. Oh, I'm sorry, hitting the wrong button. All right. And whoops. Go there. There we go. All right. So you guys should be able to see me there pretty good. All right. I'm getting the hang of this Mail Studio. For the Mail Studio folks out there, I am learning how this stuff works, and I want to thank you guys for putting something out, because OBS was kicking my butt. That's what it was. All right. So the first thing we're going to do here, it's time to go to Clip Studio Paint. All right, I got my three thing. You guys can see what I'm working on here. I have this particular window here, which is my other thing, and I'm going to look for reference for you guys. And by doing that, and by the way, the image in the middle there that is showing is Afro Puff 5. Don't be that. It's okay. Hold on. Who is Afro Puff 5? Let me double check on this. Who is Afro Puff 5? Because I want to think I see the hair, but you know I'm blind. Hold on, let me get here. Is that my cousin? Anyway, yeah, let me leave these glasses on here. All right. So in the middle is Greg Anderson, Ulysses, and David Brain's character web comic called Hammer, and I think today is the last day of its. Hey Kim, what's up? Yeah, that is my cousin. The Smiths are all over the place. Y'all need to our DNA spread far and wide, all over. And yes, Kim does have an Afro puff. She actually literally has her hair in a puff. It's very interesting. All right, but so what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to show you guys how I work. I hope that everyone can dig what I'm doing while I'm doing it. If you have any comments or whatever, please do not hesitate to give me feedback. It won't hurt my feelings if you do. Also, any suggestions as to what I can do to get better? Yes, we are. I agree. Any things I can do to get better at this? You know, it's my first time streaming like this. Well, I've done like podcasts, but I've never done live streaming. And at this point, I appear to be streaming to like 5 different channels. The next goal is TikTok Live, and we will see. We will see. Okay, there. So as you can see here, let's go to Safari again and see if it pulls me up. Okay, good. Well, actually, that's the wrong Safari, but we won't worry about that. Let's go here and go up to the top here. But I'm glad we have our comments thing here set up. So let's go here. All right, we got a lot of different things here. We got a lot of different things here, man. Got a lot of different things. So I see your comments there. Thank you so much. But what we're going to do here now is go to, no, not that one. We want to go to, there we go. You got YouTube. That's the one we want to go to. And hopefully that'll come in just a second. We got that for fit. Okay, I think that'll come in just a second. Hang tough, guys. Hang tough. Hang with me there. So we're going to go here. We're going to go back here. Then we're going to go here. Actually, I may have screwed up. But no worries, we're going to go back to what we initially had, which was that. We're going to leave that there and not worry about it because I was trying to get fancy there for a second, and I don't think I need to get any fancy right now. So let's go here to Safari again. I'm going to go to Safari. All right, we are in Safari. I'm going to just click here, and I think I'm going to go to YouTube. Now, when you are doing portraiture, there are different ways to do portraiture. There are different ways to do portraiture. Some people would take photos of the people who you are trying to connect with, and that's a very useful tool. Some people take photos. Some folks, have to do what they call live in person portraiture, which I've done before. But for me, what I do, I have found that YouTube is absolutely fantastic for that. So this is what we're going to do. You're going to type in YouTube. Okay, so YouTube is loading in. And we're going to type in YouGod. You-God. And by the way, if I'm mispronouncing that because I'm such a square, please don't hold that against me. All right, let's see here. Do we want him old or new? Let's try here. Let's try.
You ain't heard us in a minute. You heard us in a
Oh
minute.
Lord. All right, so I think we're going to stick with this variant here. And the reason, oh, that's perfect. Let's go back here. Right. Nope. Let's keep playing. Keep playing. Keep playing. You're gonna see. No. No. Right there. That is awesome. Let's go back just a smidgen. I'm gonna play it again. Right here. Doggone it. Almost had it there. Hang on. So this is when you guys see the graphic history of hip hop. I did almost 250 portraits in the entire book. And I've got, there we go. All right. So this is you God here. And that is the reference I'm going to use. I'm going to use that reference. And I think that will work good for me. I like that. I like his hat. I think it's unique, but there's also something else I'm going to integrate into this portrait I do of him. Let's see here. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go here, and I'm gonna go back to You God's page here. We're gonna go here, and there was something he did that I thought, not in this particular clip, but in this clip here. Yes, this one. I thought it was pretty fascinating. He puts his hands together, claps his hands together like a sound card. And it's something that I was fascinated in seeing. So watch how he does his hands here in just a moment. Pow! You see that? So that was hot. I love that. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can do this here. Let me go back here. Let me see here. We can get this correct without destroying anything. All right. Okay, hang on. Command C for copy. And then we're going to go right here. Yep. Let's put this. I'm going to say drawing. You now in uppercase dude. There we go. So we got that, right? So I've notified him. We'll see if he responds, but if he doesn't, it's all good. So we're going to use this as reference, and we're going to use that as reference, right? So there are different ways to do this. All right. So first thing we're going to do here is I'm going to go back to Clip Studio Paint. All right. So Clip Studio Paint, I still have this open here. I find that it's useful to have my elements open here. I'm now going to go to New File. Generally, I tend to do my images as a 1920 by 1080. I could do them vertical, but in this particular case here, I'll do it widescreen, and we will see how that works. And actually, I'm gonna do it vertical. Let's do it vertical this time. All right. So we can see here we're drawing. We got a little red there. We obviously don't want red. I'm gonna grab I use a dense watercolor brush. Let's go to gray here, or the back here, and then here will be black in front and white in the back. I am not the most advanced painter in the world. I tend to keep things somewhat simple. I try not to go crazy with it. And before I do that, let me just very quickly go to YouTube, see if anybody's chiming in. I'm going to say, hey, folks. Okay. And drawing. All right. Let's see if we can get him in here. Pia. Today. Boom. All right. So we got that one there. I wanted to send out a chat there. It's the same thing here. It's a little bit weirder. I don't know why that one is acting a little bit weird, but we're not going to worry about it for the moment. But I do want to, and that's for the Dieselfunk channel. So there's something here I want to make sure that I'm getting right. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to have to turn off the audio because I'm sure as soon as it cranks up here, I'm going to hear myself talking. But that's all right. Let's switch our account. We're going to go here to Dieselfunk. And we will go here, view my channel. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Gonna click right here. Yep, there it is. Oh, and I got it on mute, so we're good here. And let's see, can I even chat in my own chat? All right, I got to figure something out. We'll work it out. But chat is active. That's a good thing to know. That is a good thing to know. All right, let's go here. Instagram wants to know if I'm logging in, but it's okay. We're going to get to all that later. Right now, we're going to stick to where we are. All right. Okay, let's see here. Let's go back here. Go to Dieselfunk. Close that out. Then we'll go to chat here. Okay, we're not going to worry about that. Okay, anyway, back to our drawing here because enough of that kind of crap. All right, we're going here. Now, you guys are here showing up today to look at me draw. So let me do that. All right. So let's go here. And there we go. So we got that there. And we're relaxed here. All right, now I think I'm feeling good about that. Let's go here and turn that off. And let's go a little bit here. So now we're going to begin to just sketch this out here. Bam, bam. My eyes are not as good as they used to be, baby. Ha ha. Go right there. Pop that in there. Here. Now, he has his cheek kind of chimes in a little bit. He's got his hat there. I've drawn hundreds of portraits over the years. I've done good portraits. I've done bad portraits. I've just done a lot of portraits. That's all I can say. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but for sure, I've done a ton, metric ton of portraits. All right, so now we got that little slide there. Now, let me do this because I think this will be helpful. So I'm going to go here to this, and I am going to do a Command-Shift-4. So you guys can see, I do when I do Command-Shift-4 on the hotkeys. That's for Clip Studio Paint. For Photoshop, it's all the same, but for the PC, the hotkeys are different. But you can do screen captures and collect reference, right? So that's the one image I wanted to grab here. So I'm going to be using it as my reference. And the thing about it, when you are creating portraiture and you don't want to slavishly follow the exact thing, you want to take liberties with how things play out, what you do is you mix up your sources. So in this case here, what we're going to do, we Command-Shift-4 again. And this time, I'm going to do this. There we go. So we got this here. Let's go here. We're going to now open that up in Clip Studio Paint. So we have this reference here as well. All right, let's zoom in here a little bit so we can see. All right. Now, here's the other weird thing here. There are times when I will trace. There are times when I will trace. There are times when I will not trace. There are times where I will draw from the eye. Right? In this particular case here, I'm going to be drawing from the eye. All righty. Let's go back here. Let's check our reference out. Let's check our references right here. Okay, now I could do this two different ways. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to move that in a little bit. And we're going to take this one here. And I'm going to move that. Let's see if we can move that to the side there. Okay, good. Now you can't see it right now, but what I have is I have that file open, right? And as you see it, what will happen is you will see me begin to duplicate this drawing here. All right, so we're going to move pretty fast here. At least that's the intent. Okay, we got his eyes here. Okay, that's good. I want to go here to the top part of his eyes. And it's okay to be imperfect with this stuff. It doesn't, you don't have to be that precious because we are drawing as best we can. My man's, we're trying to capture his spirit, and I believe this particular drawing here, this particular image at least, pose might do just that trick. So we'll go here with his nose. Got a little shadow. I kind of like that shadow there a little bit. Go here. Let's take his nose. While that's happening, I'll go back here and keep track on my comments. Go here. I am X Fry. I'm not sure who that is. Eliane Hutchison. Thank you so much. The boy Vian drag. Keith Krause. What's up, Keith? How's it going? Keith is a master illustrator. Please put a link, Keith, to your books. One of the classic vampire guys out there. I don't know if Ryan Coogler owes him money. Hey man, what do you want me to do? I just noticed the similarities, okay? But it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. But we're gonna get back to drawing here. All right. I ain't trying to start nothing, brother. I'm not trying to start anything, man. So we got that. All right, we're gonna go here with our nostril here because my brother has nostrils. There we go. Whoops. That's a little bit heavier there. Now, I might have to shrink this nose down in size. Now, one of the things I've been noticing recently is my good friend Daoud Anyabwile, well, God, I met Daoud back in 1990 and 91, I forget. It was so long ago. And always one of the not just an amazing artist, but just a pure gentleman. I love that guy. And he has been doing portraiture recently. I mean, he's been doing it a lot. You know, he's always done portraiture, but he's really been taking things to the next level lately. And it's inspired me today. That's like, you know what? Let me get a little portrait. I mean, I do portraits all the time. Obviously, all the graphic history of hip hop is just portraiture, with in between cartooning. But I gotta say that when you draw 250 portraits, you literally get burned out. You really did. Okay, so let's get the other eye here. Now I think it's a little bit too close to the side of his face, but that's okay because we have our tubes here that can kind of move things around. There we go. All right. I'm gonna try my best. There's no guarantee, but I'm gonna try my best to finish this portrait inside of 30 minutes. And by the way, right now I'm using Clip Studio Paint. I don't know if I'm going to use I don't know if I'm going to use Photoshop or anything like that on that. I tend to fluctuate back and forth. Oh, I will use Photoshop to showcase um, to showcase animation because I did say I want to show you guys some animation. And there are different ways to do animation, but one of the ways I'm going to go with what I call the ancient way of doing animation in Photoshop. So let's go here. Let's go back here. Let's go to, because I have not checked to see if I have any comments going. Okay, one person is Dean Montero. Thank you so much, Dean. That's in the Afrofuturism group. We're going to go back here to our main page. Okay, let's move this over. Whoops, that's a lot of stuff moving over there. Okay, we're going to go here. Alrighty. We're still live. That's good. And then I'm going to switch over because I can to Tim Fielder. And we're going to, I stream to multiple different channels and I share multiple things here Let's see. Walter Grayson hit like. By you guys. By the way, you guys should know Walter Grayson is my business partner. Walter, along with Christina Hungsprut Lamatina, we all formed the Graphic History Company a few years ago, and our first book was the Graphic History of Hip Hop. I'm working on volume 2 now. I'm not going to do so much work on it this month, but starting next month, I want to start getting into it so I can finish out the Department of Education variant. And then I will get to the full-on graphic novel, which I want to have done by the fall. Joe Illich got a lot going on. Illuminous, his company, just started up here, and he's talking about his new book, Blood Letter. I think, is that the one in the Spawn universe? Not sure, but very proud of that guy. He has now grown into just one of our statesmen. He's not old yet, so he's not an elder statesman, but he is one of our statesmen. And I think adds a much needed gravitas to our field. Sometimes we need that kind of stuff because we can all be in our field can all be kind of juvenile. All right, let's get the eyes here. All right, we're going here. We're going to take a little bit of that down there. I think this is good. I think it's all right. All right, good. Here, we'll pop that down there. Go here. All right, now this is too close, the left side. That right there is too close. So I have different ways I can do that. I can either erase that, or I can do, say, this. Let's bring that out a little bit more. There we go. There we go right there. All right. And there's a little bit, not too much there. Let's take that out like that. Yeah, there we go. I'll bring that out a little bit further. All right, good. All right, nostril here is a little bit too big, but that's okay because now we're going to grab our warp tool. Watch this. We can make it a little bit small. In fact, I think his entire nose is a little bit too far away from his eyes. So let's bring this down. Then we're going to move it all up like that. Digital illustration is a completely different animal than regular drawing on paper thing. And I've done so many portraits. I've done portraiture before on paper and with analog media, but I am primarily I'm a digital artist. There's no denying it now, and why bother to deny it if it is what you do? Okay, going here. Going to take this up here. There we go. Right there. Add a little sheen here. A little bit dark here. I don't know if I'm going to put the logo on there because sometimes you wonder if you should or you shouldn't. But I think one of the things I'm going to do here is I will make this a kind of a darker element. Also, I tend to wonder, should I be talking this much or should I shut the hell up? What do y'all think? Is the ongoing commentary maddening? This is being streamed on Dieselfunk and Dieselfunk Dispatch on YouTube, Instagram. Thank God, finally, after a week of totally screwing up. Facebook, on the Dieselfunk primary page, but I also share it to the Afrofuturism 2.0 group. Oh, I wanted to share this to the WhatsApp. There's a users group here that I don't know. Oh my God! That's my daughter. I love her. Okay, I'm about to embarrass her, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so sorry. She's probably gonna get offline, but I don't care. I love my daughter so much. I love my baby daughter so much. She is so awesome. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna call out the handles, but can I please talk about my daughter for a little bit? Do you mind? I love my daughter so much. She is my twin. She's like me, just much more beautiful and in drag. and thinner, about 100 pounds lighter, and I love her. So thank you for being. I'm trying to do what you told me to do, baby. So just hang on. I'm getting there. Dad's getting there. All right, now let's see here. Here's the other thing here. That's my daughter. I didn't even know. This is the first time I interacted with her online. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm stopping. Sorry. So, all right. So, Dieselfunk Studios is the company I am in charge of. And Dieselfunk Studios is responsible for this book here, Maddie's Rocket, which would be awesome if you guys could buy it. I should let you know that soft cover versions of Maddie's Rocket I am getting it together so we can start having that out in the public. Also, I am known for this book here. This is Infinitum, an Afrofuturist tale. Please follow at Dieselfunk. That would be awesome. Uh, Also, and then of course, I have the work with my good buddy Walter Grayson, Graphic History Hip Hop. We have that in hardcover and softcover. We have them in both. Also, be forewarned that within the coming months, I will start to do live selling. So we're going to be live selling both T-shirts. We'll be doing T-shirts. We'll be doing caps, hoodies. We'll be doing the whole thing. But you can purchase those books on Amazon, but you can also purchase them where all fine books are sold. Just want to say that. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Let me get back to this, and because I don't want to lose too much time drawing here. All right, so we got our ears here, and his ear. Yep, that's about right. That's right where his nostrils are. All right, so we'll go here. Let's see here. Boom. Let's go here. There we go. Interesting when you draw people, how you kind of see what their bone structure is. But I also would say that it's quite fascinating because when you do this, you also see how they carry their spirit. It's the strangest thing. It's the strangest thing. I've had the pleasure of drawing many hundreds of portraits over the years, and what it's done is, I think, made me a better artist because I didn't even know for a second there if I was a person who should have drawn the graphic history of hip hop since I'm such a square. And my partner Walter absolutely had faith in me, and even though I was like, Tim, you don't know that much about hip hop, which I don't. I'm a professional, and I had drawn hip hop over the years. Maybe one day I'll show you guys a few pages from the Dr. Dre, because I can do that now. I can show. I have an unpublished Dr. Dre graphic novel, fully painted, and maybe I'll show you, give you guys a preview of it. I'm hoping one day, soon, because this year is actually the 30th anniversary of it. I don't know if you guys knows anything about this, but I used to work for Marvel Music, which is a division of Marvel Comics, and I did two graphic novels. One was not even quite finished. What was the name of it? I forget the name of it, but the other one was Dr. Dre, and that one was really, really awesome. I put my heart and soul into that, but it was the last fully analog book that I ever did. People were actually telling me I should have done it digital back then, but I was like, no, man, I want to feel the paint. I want to feel the paint. That's what they were saying, and I felt it. I felt like my hand was about to fall off after a point. But there we go. Let's see here. All right. So please, please, please go to um, where all fine books are sold and buy the graphic history of hip hop, Infinitum and Afrofuturist Tale from HarperCollins slash the imprint Amistad, as well as Maddie's Rocket. I'm very proud of those books. I put my heart and soul into them, and I think ironically, it's kind of ironic of years of obscurity that these books seem to have really kind of been accepted as part of I would say the impetus of Afrofuturism, which is a really really nice feeling. It's very gratifying to have that. I mean, the books aren't perfect because I'm far from that, but we have what we have. All right, now just one quick note here. As you can see me here laying in line work and shades, she's like, "Why is he putting all that in there?" Unlike painting in acrylic and stuff like that, and I might have to make these ears larger, but that's okay. Right now, we'll just focus on this part here. But one of the things that tends to happen is you end up using these strokes as shadows. It is a very, very cool thing about digital illustration. One of the things you can do. We go here. All right. I've done this a lot. Oh, by the way, any suggestion, can you let people know when your next in-person event? And okay, I will be at the San Diego Comic Con. That's a very very good. Yeah, obviously she's obviously much more business oriented than I am. But let's see. Let's do a quick search here. We're going to go to Comic Con. All right, where are we? Sorry. Cinder saying Comic Con. Nope, that's it. We're going to go New York Comic Con. Here we go. Nope. Okay, hang on. I'm going to let you guys know where I'm going to be. Okay, hang on. There we go. All right, here we go. So I will be at New York Comic Con. Ah, crap. I hate it when it happens. Hang on. And go here. Boom. All right. We are definitely screwing up. NY Comic Con. Oh, not Comic Con. Comic Con, dude. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to try to see, because I'm on the Afrofuturism panel. Nasid gifted Afrofuturism. Here it is. All right. And I will copy paste that into the all right. Yep, there we go. This is great. This is great. Fantastic. Be at the main center. I am going to be moderating the panel STEM, Space, and Afrofuturism Friday, July 25th, 2025, from 12 to 1. Room San Diego Hotel, Omni Grand Ballroom, DE 4th floor. And I have, let's see, I'm going to post that. There we go. So that's posted. And also, let me do this as well. I'll do this on Facebook here. I shall commit. I see Yatasha Womack has given a like. Thank you, dear. Appreciate it. Yatasha will probably end up being on the panel as well, which is cool. Coolio. All right, we got that. Let's close that one there. Okay, and also I think I will move it to Dieselfunk. I'll post all this. Nasid is still working up the graphic for the panel, and once we have that in place, I will, of course, post that. But right now, I'm just posting this stuff in YouTube and in all of the different things here. And of course, as I figure out why chat is acting weird in the other one here, we'll sort all that out. But I think I've got it on. I'm not going to worry about Twitch for right now. All right. So anyway, let's go back here. That's open there. Okay, good. All right. Let's go back to doing this portrait here. I'm looking forward to this. I'll be heading out on Thursday. I was trying to make it to the Afrofuturism Lounge, Lawana Richmond's thing, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it there in time because I'm actually going to be staying in LA with my brother. It's just easier for me to be there and then to uh, be there and just take the train and train it in via Amtrak. Okay, there we go. Let's get his lips there. Yep, I think that's just right on the edge of being too wide. There we go. Alrighty. Right there. Yep, I think maybe, just maybe. Alright, now we need to swoop that in down there. Alright, and okay. Alright, and here we go. Right there. Now, we got to just do a little bit of tweaking here. So this is his bottom lip, or top lip, I should say. Let's get here a little bit. Alright. Alright, hang on, guys. Alright. Boom, bam, bam, bam. Here. Take that a little bit there. And one of the things you have to be careful with when you are doing portraitures of people is you got to make sure as you do your portrait, you are not going crazy with the extreme poses in their face. A person can be in the middle of performing, and when a person's face is deformed because they're in the middle of an act of performing, what can happen is that in that particular shape, they may actually not look like themselves. You know it's them because you are looking at the video, but you got to make sure that you try to approximate some level of neutrality. And video is very helpful to be able to do that. Okay, good. We got that. All right, now we want to go here with this bottom lip here. Might need to move that in just a little bit here. There we go. And then the top part here. Yep. Now that might be a little bit too thin, but it's okay. I think we can make it work. There we go. Let me take this just like this. Boom, bam, bam. Alrighty. Alrighty. Okay. Also, quality check. If you guys say, Tim, that's not looking like him, please let me know. I have no worries about that kind of stuff. I also find it helpful. But sometimes I do recognize I have to kind of like go with my gut. But I don't mind quality checks. Oh, a little bit too much. Oh, you need to make this here a little bit more, that a little bit more, that a little bit less. There we go. So we go here. All right, we're gonna go right there. Pop a little bit of that here. Now let's go underneath here. That then he's got that heavy line right there. He's right in the middle performing. All right, let's just erase a little bit here. There we go. All right, now I think we're gonna have to do some action with his ears. That's just me. All right, we got that there. Good. Here. Then we want to take that on the side there. Alrighty. Okay. So we have that there. Now, we want this part here. We're going to bring that there. Pop that down. And the cool thing is about what he's wearing here is mostly black. So we might not have to worry about certain things in terms of making sure that you capture the essence of the drawing. Again, this makes me think of one of my friends, Andre Leroy Davis, who I would consider the absolute master of hip hop portraiture. He's just done it for years, done more than any of us will ever do when it comes to that. And that guy's he's just a legend. I did some hip hop stuff, particularly earlier in my career. When I was working for Marvel Music, but also I ended up working with a lot of magazines, like Rap Pages magazines. Yes, I worked for Rap Pages magazine. I did that. My good friend Kwanzaa Glees brought me on, and so it was an interesting experience because I always found I was never a huge hip hop guy. In fact, was never particularly like, oh my God, I love it. I can't live without it. But even I was forced to recognize its power and magnificence, if you will, uh, and that's where we are. Gonna be in San Diego Comic Con at the next week. This time, actually, next Friday, I'll have done my panel already. I should be doing my floor tour with Calvin Reed of Publishers Weekly. We've been doing that. It's fun to hang out with Calvin. I consider him a good friend. He's also, he hates it when I say this, but, hugely instrumental in my career. Love the dude because he took mercy on an old head cartoonist. He did. But we tend to do our floor tour of the big Comic Con. So we did San Diego last year. We did New York Comic Con. So here we go again with our follow up to New York Comic Con, and hoping that I can do New York Comic Con with him later. So we will see. Let's see. That shoulder there, and a lot of this stuff is going to be black. So let's zoom out here a little bit. Okay, there we go. Zoom back in. How's everyone feeling? Is the stream going well today? Do you guys feel like it's going well? Doesn't seem to have any technical issues. Tonio, hello Tonio, how you doing? Good to see you there. Let's check here. Oh, nope, we want to close that one. We don't want to screw around too much, baby. All right, so we got our stuff there. That's good. Chat is running in Dieselfunk dispatch, and I believe it could run with this, but I don't know why. Let's refresh. Let's see what happens. Oh, did I screw something up? Oh no, still running. There we go. Ha! Oh my goodness! There's an entire world of chat going on the other channel, and that is my brother, Odd Cotton. Let's see. Hey man. All right, we're good. We're good. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, and I think my brother should be hanging around. YouTube chat is active. Stream is going fine on this end. It's good. This is good. Hey man, back to you. Let's see. That's my brother. I have a twin brother named Jim Fielder, if that could believe, identical twin. He still has his hair though. I do not have mine. And we are working on our films. We have Flow. It's a horror movie. And that one will be done shortly, trying to get it into a producer very soon. And then we have Black Metropolis, which is the documentary on my career. A version of it was done a few years back, but we must have done 60 interviews for that thing, with so many. Oh, yes, that's right. You do have hair. I do not at this time. That's okay. I think it's too late for me to take one of those hair programs. So, at any rate, all right. So here's the issue with it. Let's go to our reference here. We go back. I think we're going to go to Safari again. Let's go to Safari again so we can see. Let's go to Safari. All right. So we can go here. If you'll notice, his ears extend right towards the top, like a little bit in the middle part of his top lip. and the top of his ears kind of go above his nostrils. So I think I've got that. But I think what I've got to do is I got to bring his earlobes down. Because right now they are not far enough down. Right? Let's go back to Clip Studio. And what that means is different ways to achieve that effect. I can either draw them in like so, which is not bad. I can do that. Let's take a little eraser there. There we go. All right, that's not bad. Okay. And for the other side, I could draw that, or I could do this. Let me just take the warp tool here. Again, so happy that the stream is now working. All right, there we go. I think we're good there. A little bit farther. There we go. And then the ear that's a little bit lower there. There we go. I tell you, the warp tool has just saved many a drawing. Yes, it has. There we go. Now watch this, guys. Watch this. This is a trick. His face is a little bit fuller. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit Command T. I'm just going to bring it over just a smidgen right back there. See what I did? So what I've done here is I've expanded his face without having to redraw anything. All right. Now his mouth is relatively close, but this is where the warp tool comes in. Go back here. Eventually, I'll get chat visible. Love seeing. Hey, hello, Tonio. High school days. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Thank you so much for joining in today. And I'm glad you like seeing this. I've been drawing portraits for a long time, and hopefully that. Am I talking too much, man? It's just like, man, more drawing, less talking. Or you guys like the talking with the drawing? I don't know. We're gonna have to find out. All right, let's see here. Let's move this up. If you hear firecrackers outside, I live in East Harlem, and yes, July 4th was several weeks ago, but they're still celebrating somewhat. All right, there we go. So we got this part here. Let's drop that down just a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to take that shoulder up there and the shoulder up here. Now, I like that, but I'm going to move this over. I'm going to take the arrow here with key and move that over just a bit right there. Yes, right about there. Now, that's a very subtle movement, but it's pretty much. Thank you for the balance. Thank you for your commentary. All right, now watch what I'm about to do. So I could paint this in with color, or I could do this. Let's go here and take a little gray. Boom. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. It's all right. And then we're going to take a little bit in here. There we go. Right? Because I like that black there. That black is, you might say, well, Tim, that doesn't look black. That actually looks gray. Well, I'll show you what I mean by doing that. So now I can take an airbrush here. And what we're going to do is add implied detail because he's got these collars here. See those collars? Kind of float above that. So now I can add detail that you can't even really see in the reference. All right? Go here. So what this does is it allows us to add implied detail. I mean, it's not necessarily there, but it gives us a subtle highlight, a nice tug of whatever it is we're doing. Oh, that's a little bit higher there. I'm seeing that collar's a little bit propped up there. So I think I like this right here going up a bit there. That's good. Hello, Demi International, Living Thomas. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. That's a crazy handle. I love that. So we can go here. Also, one thing I'm going to do, since I've drawn so many portraits with the Dieselfunk show that I did with my twin brother, one of the things I do want to do, and I would love to get some feedback with you guys. I love drawing portraits so much, but I feel like when I draw portraits, it works better for me when I have a live subject. So one of the things I'm thinking about doing, in addition to showing how I work with comics, showing how I work with animation, how to utilize AI. Sometimes, by the way, some people, oh God, why is he using AI when he can draw? Hey, I do it all. I use 3D models. I use 2.5D, 2D. I use the whole kit and caboodle, right? Because I am what's called a hybrid artist. I do a little bit of everything. But all of that to say is that I want to start inviting people to come in and allow me to do their portraits virtually. They don't have to leave their house. They can do it from the comfort of their home. And when I do it, my twin brother will join me, and uh, we will we will record the interview as long as you guys are down with that, and you can have the drawing. It'll all be done on digitally, of course, because that's pretty much the way I work now. But that we do it, you'll be able to. We'll send you a we'll send you a screen capture of the animation as well as the drawing, and that's one of the things I think I'd like to do. So that's something to consider. Let me know what you guys think about that. We'll go here. Teeth there. Boom, bam, bam. Go. Alrighty. Hot diggity. Hot diggity dog. What time is it? 9:47. Okay. We don't want to go too much longer, but right now we're doing all right. I'm liking it. I'm enjoying this process. It's one of the things is also very cool. Is like I said, of weeks of the last several days of trying to get this stuff, and then like yesterday I tried Instagram and I couldn't get the image up because I had forgot a setting that was automatic that I assumed you had to do something special with it in Mail Studio, but you didn't. But like I said, I think I got a handle on it now. Still little quirky things with Mail Studio that they need to work out. But I think it's incredible software. I really do. All right. Now, notice what I'm doing here. I'm going in. I could go in with this with different levels. But right now, I think I'm going to stick with it as is. Right? Because we got to have some blending. We have some blending we need to do here. There we go. And I'm applying light, light pleasure to pull this off. Let me do one thing here. I'm going to try to check out, see what my comments happening. Eventually, I'm hoping that I can figure out Mill Studio quickly enough where it will allow me to have um, ongoing. Um, oh, well, there we go. That would be our comments window. Okay, so we're good there. Let's see. Now, I think on the bottom there, that's maybe we can do better with that. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here in this channel here, and I think what I will do is, which will perhaps be helpful to you guys as you see what's happening here. We're going to go here, good, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag, if I can. And by the way, a lot of people don't realize that your browser is actually can hold images. It's quite fascinating to see. Let's go to desktop. Oh God, I don't know. There he is. Is that it? No, that's not it. Hang on. I did do a screen capture of that though. So let's see. Let's go to bigger icons. Hang on one second. Hang on there, buddies, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that's not going to work. But what we will do, we'll go to downloads. Here, we're going to see if we actually have an image that I'm looking for. We don't. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, hang on. Yep, not going to worry about it for right now. I could pull it back, but let's see what happens here. If I go, all right, I'm gonna do this one thing here. It's gonna be a little weird, so bear with me. Gonna go here. Yep. Copy, and I'm going to my mouse here. I got a really great mouse. There we go. All right, hang on. There we go. All right, good. So we're gonna go right. Yeah, right. Let's go back here. I just tapping the keyboard here. Right there. Ah, doggone it. Hate it when I screw up like that. Right there is good. Right there is good. All right, so because I just want that for reference, you'll see what I'm doing here in a minute. And there's a part of me that prefers his mouth there, but that's okay. Like I said, that's one of those more extreme poses. So we'll work that out. All right, so I wanted that there for reference so you guys could see what I'm working with here. It's important to be able to show you guys how I utilize reference when I'm drawing. Just for you guys who are here today, you should know that I stream apparently 5 days weekly, sometimes on a 6th day. I tend to take Sundays off, but I go Monday through Friday, and I'm going to try to even keep it up even when I'm in travel en route. I'm thinking about taking my equipment with me to San Diego Comic Con and streaming from their offices there. I think that'll be a good thing that I can stream from. Uh, we can stream from the facility. So we just got to see how we work it out. But either way, enough of that. Let's get back here to drawing here. Okay, we got that there. I'm liking that. Let's see here. What else we got here? Okay, that's good. All right, good. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. All right. Also, subscribe, please. Please subscribe to all of these channels. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch. Next week, I'm going to finally get down on TikTok. I think I've got it down now to a science where people can see what I do. You can work in the vertical format. I thought this was going to be so much more complicated. That's what happens when you don't watch the tutorials the way you should, right? But that's what it is. But I just think it's been an interesting experience. Okay, let's zoom in here a little bit. I'm gonna go here. All right, now here's where I take this here, pop that underneath there. Yeah, there we go. So you see what I'm saying? This is just the adding of wrinkles, kind of, clothing. And it's just implied detail. It's not necessarily there, but it's close enough. So you see what I did by doing that? What this does is that gives me a little bit of stuff to work with. Now, one of the things I do have to do is tighten up these collars here. I don't want them to appear to be yet. I don't want them to appear to be out of focus. All right, now watch this. I need to take my tool here, and I'm just gonna move that up a little bit. And move this up slightly there a little bit. And tweak that in there a little bit. Tweak this in a little bit. And I think we've made quite a bit of distance here on this guy's eyes. Yes, I'm showing how the sausage is made, which I know some people are like, oh boy. But this is literally how the sausage is made. All right, so we've got that. I feel good about this. Now, the next thing I want to do, let me just add a little bit of uh, uh, tone to this. Not too much, because now we want to go in and start adding our other stuff. There we go. All right, now let's start smoothing. What I generally do with this is I will duplicate this layer, right? Now that's a little bit too dark there. This brother's skin is not that dark, but I like to duplicate a layer so that I can have it just in case I screw up, right? All right, now I'm going to zoom in here, and again I'm using the one on the bottom part of the video as reference. So just know and understand that that's part of what's going down, dudes. Alrighty. A nice change of pace to finally be on Instagram. I gotta say, it's quite satisfying. I just need to now work on getting TikTok going, and eventually, once we start selling products, our books and apparel and stuff, we'll probably open up a whatnot channel as well. But like I said, we'll get there. Okay. Oh, thank you. Okay. My daughter has efficiently sent me. Uh, okay. She just told me some stuff that I need to take into account, which I shall. I wasn't thinking about that, but hey, there we go. I guess if I want to say this type of thing, I recognize me doing this as a privilege. You really think about it, social media, it doesn't really cost anything. We're kind of like a privilege to be doing this stuff. That we have the ability to communicate with people in ways that we never did before. It's got to be pretty amazing, when you really think about it. It is quite fascinating. All right, let's go here. Go back here. All right, I think I've got that part. Now I'm going to put his hands together, but we're going to save that for right now because I don't know if he's looking at this, but eventually I want to try to um, get some stuff together here. I might even keep it black. I don't know. We will see. But right now, this is where we are. All right. Now let's move this out here. Here we go. Let's zoom in. There we go. We gotta be very careful. Right now, I'm gonna use blend. I did have it set to blur for a second there, but we want this to be blend. I'll have to go over with some stuff to darken it up, but I think we're okay. All right, boom. There, let's go up. All right, hang on. So one of the reasons why I decided to do this was because I know that as I get deeper into the graphic history of hip hop, it's going to be about another, 100 at least portraits, at least 100, uh, but more than likely probably 200. It's going to be a lot because that just tends to be the way that those books go. I mean, you have what's written in the script, but then once you I read the script and you start adding detail to it that you just find out they're just things you can't ignore, and that's okay. I don't mind that. Go. Oops. Alrighty. I do want to show a little bit of the animation process. Maybe I'll go on this right here for another few minutes. And like I said, it is Friday, so maybe you guys will stay up with me a little bit longer. And there we go. And also, again, as I said yesterday when I was doing the image for Hammer, uh, keeping imperfections in your line artwork can sometimes add a lot of energy to your drawing. So that's something I try not to get rid of everything, because some of the stuff is, like I say, it just gives you a lot of energy. There we go. All right, let's try the other side here. There we go. There we go. Okay. Alrighty. Now we're going to get on this part here, smooth that out a little bit. We will be going over with darker tones once we begin to put in our overlays. Some important aspect of doing portraiture. I've also considered putting my portraits into the competitions at the National Portrait Gallery. I've done so many of them, but I've never really joined in. And one or two of my friends have told me I should do it, but I don't know. I'll get to it eventually. I shall get to it eventually. There we go. All right, so you all see how his chin is now looking a little bit smoother because I'm eliminating strokes. Strokes are cool, but we have to be willing to let go of the strokes after a point, right? And they all become, after a point, they become like detail, implied detail. It's what Bob Ross talks about as the beautiful mistakes, little mistakes are kind of what gives images, music. It's the imperfections that add flavor sometimes. You don't have to be slavishly perfect. There we go. Oops, not too much there. All right, get underneath that eye. And sometimes, of course, right now you look at his eyes look pretty dead because there's no highlighter. Highlights are essential to portraiture. I mean, they're just, once you add the highlights to something, it just takes it to another level. All right, go on here. All right, that's good. I might want to pull that in a little bit there. See, I'm pulling that in. All right. Let's see here. Also, as I said before, I'll take a quick moment. You guys should go to this site. This guy. Boston Fielder is my brother, and he has done my music. So the site that you hear the music, the theme song, and all that, and this guy is pretty freaking awesome. One of the more dynamic musicians ever lived, filmmaker, but close to my heart is the music that he does. He's done so much music over the years. One of the greatest singers out there as well over the decades. So please feel free to stop through and buy some music from it. So there we go. Also, Let me not forget, Dieselfunk Studios is my website. And on that site, you can find everything. A link to the Dieselfunk Dispatch, which of course we got to get the updated links on there. Should update. I'm working on the comment. I'm working on for W.W. Norton. I'm working on Black Prince for University of Georgia Press, which I've been working on quite a bit. You guys have seen a lot of the work I've done on that recently. Of course, very shortly we'll be starting back up on the Graphic History of Hip Hop Volume 2, the 24-page variant for the Department of Education, extending on to the 100 or more so page graphic novel variant. And eventually want to get back to doing Maddie's Robbins. So we're working, we're doing everything we can to get it. Thank God for all of these wonderful, amazing things that are happening, and very, very grateful to be doing it. So, okay, let's go on here. Now for that. All right, boom. Okay, there we go. Let's take this here. Just shorten that up just a little bit. See? Do that. I was thinking about Forever. How many people have seen Forever on Netflix? That's a great show. Love that show. Based on a Judy Blume book. And I just, it's so amazing seeing it because you don't really see black folks depicted like that on screen as much. And I have to say, I was so inspired by it. Forever was great. And they have season 2 apparently. So looking forward to seeing that. All right, we're doing on the eye part here. Again, I'm going to be going through with some deeper shadows as we can. Pop that there. That'll go here. Yep, we'll get that done soon enough. All right, there we go. Now I want to get this neck area down here. All right, there's good. Again, we will darken up the shadows down here as we can. We get the opportunity here. Got shadows on the neck. All right. All right, now let's take this part here. Now we definitely have some more shadows we have to get underneath here, but this is good for now. This is good for now. See, we're smoothing this stuff out. As we smooth it out, it begins to have and add some level of life to these drawings. There we go. All right, now let's smooth this out. There we go. Blend is a very powerful tool in Clip Studio Paint. A little bit different, very different in certain ways from Photoshop, but Clip Studio Paint has just proven to be a workhorse. Really, really is a workhorse. There we go. That part there. Bring that down. There. Okay. Hello, Jerry Kraft. How you doing, sir? It's one of my good friends from back in the day. Jerry Kraft is the author of the award-winning Newbery Killing New Kid by Jerry Kraft, who was also very gracious to actually provide my cover blurb back in the day when he didn't have to. He could have said, nah, Tim, no thanks. But he didn't. He brought himself to do it. I don't know why he did it, but he did it. I guess he's an okay guy. But Jerry's one of the nicer guys out there who is actually turned into, for whether he likes it or not, when it comes to black comics, He is one of our statesmen. And I think that's a good thing. We need folks like that. You know, we need those folks to do what they do. And Jerry's cool. All right, let's see here. Nose. Now I'll be going back through this with some tones, right? Very shortly, in about another 3 to 5 minutes, I'm going to be laying color in this for the first time. I like to use blending channels, different layers. I don't feel like I need to paint and recreate the wheel. A lot of times I feel like I got what I'm going here. All I got to do is just go and add some stuff, and I'm good. All right, there we go. All right, I would say we are very close to this being toned. Let's just go here a little bit, and whatever's off, we'll figure that out as time goes on. Yes, Jerry. Sorry, you are one of the statesmen. That's the way it goes, brother. You'll be all right, though. Heavy is the crown. Just keep wearing it. Let's see. Here. There we go. Now I got to get the shadow right down here in that neck area, but we'll get that. Let me just also tone this just a little bit. I mean, it's not necessary, but some of this stuff here is going to have highlights on it, and it won't matter. All right, there we go. Now we got this. Now we need to do this cap here. I'm going to leave the cap dark because I don't know what company that is, and I don't feel like dealing with that type of thing. I could put something else there. We'll see. I might actually put the Wu-Tang symbol. Who says I should, if by a show of hands, should I put the Wu-Tang symbol on the baseball cap here? Let me know. If not, I will just leave it black. If not, I will leave it black. There we go. So I love doing portraits, but I have to say, when you end up doing 200 of them, you're like, need a break. But doing portraits for the graphic history of hip hop and forcing myself, willing myself to finish that book, and it wasn't the easiest book done. It put me in the hospital because I wasn't taking care of myself. I'm taking care of myself, so relax. I find that it made me better artists, ultimately, at the end of the day. Now, you see that glob of light there? What we need to do now is we need to do that. See how that smooths it over? There we go. All right, cool. All right, good. So we got that. I would call this image here in terms of tones, bass tones, mostly done. I do want to put in the thing with the hands, but for right now, we're going to leave that for the moment. All right. So now we've got that. We're going to go in here with another layer. And here's where it gets kind of interesting. I'm going to go here with this sort of kind of gray-green tone. All right. I'm going to take an airbrush. There we go. All right. We're going to put in a little light right off in here on the shoulders. Right? There we go. And then I'm going to make this a little bit darker up here, like really dark, in fact. Right? You'll see why I'm doing that in just a moment. So here, now, Blake Barnes from Jackson Comics, working with him, and I have to adapt story, I think titled, Blake, you don't know this. I was thinking about Medgar's Offer. I was thinking either called The Offer or Medgar's Offer. What do you think? Code Project Grit. Thank you so much. I didn't see your name there, but thank you, Code Project Grit, for chiming in. Also, I have to be finishing up the story of my dad's history with Meg Evers. Meg Evers was instrumental in my father graduating from college. Dad turns 91 on his next birthday in August. And I think it's important. You see what happened there? Now, notice what happened as soon as you laid that color in there. Let's zoom in here. See? I mean, yeah, he looks kind of like a zombie because he has the color in there. But what it does is it adds this context to the work that takes it to a different level. And I love that. Let's go here. We're going to take here. Now we're going to start dropping in a little bit of the color. See? See what's happening here? And by the way, I am not trying to slavishly copy the portrait. One, because that's boring. But two, because I, as a cartoonist, I can take liberties. As an artist, I can take liberties with how things are laid out. I can add highlights. I can add post effects, all those kinds of things. Right? We'll go here. Let's see. Let's go here. There we go. Yep. There we go. I don't know if Walter's still watching, but I love that guy. That guy's been altered the course of my life. Definitely gave me a new sense of focus. Um, Brought me back in the game to the point where this is what I do now. I love it. Sometimes you meet that person who just kind of like gives you that grit. You wonder about him like, is he crazy? And yes, he is. But then there you go. All right, we're going to change this now. We're going to move this down toward the red here. Bump that up just a little bit. And now we're going to start adding in just little smidgens of color. But right now, that's set to multiply, right? I want to wonder what would happen if we go to overlay. Now, check this out. So you see what just happened then? It's where the highlights embed life into the stuff. But we're not going to use that. We're going to stick with multiply. But I will go in with highlights. I will go in with highlights. And this is good here because what we're doing now is we're adding blush to certain areas of the face. Of course, it's going to be made darker as time goes on. Bottom lips, right? It's that kind of blush that adds a thing to the process. Okay, there we go. There we go. Let's get a little bit off in here. By the way, I don't know if you guys is going to see this, but please, if you want to use this image for any work that you're doing, please, it would be my honor we're going to probably use it for graphic history hip hop. This is why I'm doing it now. Again, that's one of the reasons why I rebooted my um, channel, because when I was just doing straight portraiture before, it was like creating a completely separate level of material. It was really eating me up because it was a lot of work, and I needed to finish my comic work, as my editor from Norton was like, yes, you do, Tim. But what would happen is that now, as I'm doing this work, this is work that actually goes in projects. So that is really, really quite nice. You see what's happening here as I'm adding these highlights in there? See what's happening? Now I'm going to go in a little bit heavier with it, but what it's doing is it's adding dimensional complexity to, see what's happening underneath the nostril there? This is the kind of thing that this is what, you could take this with something that's even drawn anatomically wrong. You could even take the same idea, a technique, with something that is off as a drawing. But once you add highlights to something, it takes it to that next level. And it's quite interesting. So it's something that you guys should deploy in your own work. Again, this is not a class. I'm not teaching a class. I mean, that's my opinion. You might do, man, the hell with you, man. I like how I draw already. And if that's the case, then go for it. Just ignore what I have to say. Go here. All right. But I hope what would really be cool is that if there are some people who just like hearing me talk and seeing me draw, if that you find it calming, then that is the high point for me because I love that idea of being able to just talk and provide a little, comfort food, if you will, for folks who, you know, it's okay. And I'm going to talk about most anything, some stuff I won't touch on, but, some things, because some things, it's pretty crazy, but I'm hoping that the work I'm doing here provides a little light for people. All right. Got this part here, that nostril here, that bottom part of the nose. And take that there. Take this one here. This is why I'm glad I added the blemish. Blemish is very important here. A little bit on the bottom eye. A little on the bottom eye here. Then he's got this part here, just like that. Yep. He actually pulls it down there, just a bit, right there. There we go. There we go. Alrighty. Again, for those folks who've just shown up, I have been going 5 days a week with the stream. The original intent was to begin to build community in multiple platforms. I no longer feel that if you are an author, unless of course you're Jerry Craft, but if you are a regular human being, right, author, working author, male, female, green, yellow, gay, straight, Martian, or Venusian, you have to promote yourself. It is essential that you promote, you get out there and you push your work. Because the companies, it's not that they don't want to do it, they oftentimes don't know how to do it. So I always tell folks to consider that as a thing. All right, here. Okay, good. All right. Now I'm gonna leave the teeth alone for right now. Well, I'll put the indentations there. You know? All right. So that's good. Now, I could blend a little bit more, but I think I'm good on this for right now. Let me just take a quick look here. Got that part there. So I'm about to add shadow to this for sure. All right, here we go. So I'm liking my tones. I like this. I'm going to do two things. I'm going to add one more layer here, and this is where I'm going to go in with a little brown, dark brown. We're going to see what happens here. And that's on as that's on a separate layer, we're going to go to multiply. Watch this. First thing I'm going to do is go in with a heavier line. I'm getting the thick, heavier shadows first. Because then once I do that, I'll be able to go in and add the more dense shadows that will, there we go. See? See what happened there? See what's happening? Then we can just take that right there. That gives that indentation for his nose. All right, boom. There we go. Yep. And sometimes I feel so unconfident when I'm doing a portrait, but I've learned over time that what happens with these portraits is that as you begin to add light and shadow to these things, that's when they begin to take on a life of their own because the human body, the translucency that is inherent in the body is actually a little bit translucent. Our skin, you can see through it, the way light bounces through skin, so on and so forth. So it's quite interesting. Go here. There we go. Okay, that just turned off. That won't worry about that. That went dead. There we go. Now we got a little bit of line work there. There we go. I'm gonna add that there. Okay, good. Get these nostrils here a little bit dark, more darkened up. And I think his mouth, because it's not quite a smile. There we go. All right. Let's go on the side here. There we go. Boom. All right. Yeah. And keep in mind, this color is brown. So watch this shadow that goes underneath there. And skin fold there. Yep. There we go. That does that. Now we can take this. There we go. See? All right. And then once I finish this, I'm actually going to go in and add a bigger dollop of shadow. All right. Turn that in there a little bit darker here. All right. All right. There we go. All right. Let's check our comments here. Okay. We seem to be pretty good there. Facebook. Love that. Awesome awesome. All right. Our YouTube thing is good here. We've been going for a while here, so I don't mind doing that. That's great. Let's see here. Let's keep going. By the way, even though I don't do it now because I don't want any copyright strikes, but I play music while I'm working. Particularly, and I don't know if any other artists do this. One of the things I tend to do is if I'm working in a book, I choose a soundtrack for that story. And I'll draw to that story because what it does, it sets me in the place and time. It's really, really a very cool thing that I find that's very helpful to do. Okay, watch this. Let's zoom in here on the eyes. Right? So he has shadows that are darkening up the eyelids of the bottom, the kind of eye ducts. There we go. Yep. All right. Now, his lip to his mouth regarding the left side of the image here. Watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to select all three of these layers here, which you can't see. And then I'm going to punch them up just a little bit. See? That's more in line with the portrait there. Boy, I tell you, um, the Warp 2 is such a powerful tool. It really is. All right, there we go. We're going to bring this nostril down just a little bit. Not too much, though. Right, that's nostrils kind of fine. Let's bring that down. There we go. And then the other nostril is a little bit lower. There we go. All right. Now, so we got this. So the next thing we're going to do, since I've done all three, I'm going to take another layer. And here's where we get with the big dog here. So, but watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take this section here. So I'm just selecting white on the outside, right? So if you look here, you should see the marching ants, right? That means that selection there is what's there. And I'm going to hit Command Shift I. Turn this back on. Now let's see what happens when we go in with a darker red. I'll cut this to multiply. And what we're going to do is go in with an airbrush. We're going to really, really hit this part here. See? See what happens? And that brings everything kind of back. And then we can go here, and I'll ease up a little bit if I have to. But then his nose is really like so, right? Then we're gonna go here. Yep, there we go. Yep, I love it when a plan works out. There we go. There. Got to take it easy. Don't want to overdo it. All right, let's get in that mouth a little bit there. Don't have to worry about everything on there. I'm gonna go underneath the lip just a little bit. There we go. The chin, the chinny chin chin. Go right here. There we go. And just darken off that corner there. There we go. And of course, the tones are not totally there, but it's all right because I have the ability, and I'll show you what I mean now. I can do this. I can take this, and let's just say, here, I'm going to go through it. Watch what I do here. If you look at the tone in his skin on the video here, let's go back here to our main reference. Right there. Go there. His skin is lighter and paler, but that's also because, my probably the color screen and stuff is a little weird, and I'm giving him more definition, more color here. But if I take the lasso tool and hold down Option, I can just deselect the parts of his face that I don't want. So that's all it is. So now I can go here and go Command U, right? So just as I can make it more saturated, I can make it less saturated. Right about there. Looks pretty good. All right, great. Here we go. So we got that. Now we got those layers. Now I think it's on to me. Let's see here. It looks like we got maybe a comment or something here. Let's go check in and see if anybody's commenting. Uh, nope. Oh, we just have a notification. Eliane Hutchinson, 12 minutes ago, likes Dieselfunk Dispatch. Thank you so much, Eliane. You're awesome. One of the most intelligent people I've ever met in my life. And also, she is the knit girl. She'll knit you up, man. She's given me, I've gotten several bow ties from her. Of course, because I don't know how to tie a bow, they're clip ons. But they are custom ties. I love them. I love her work. Okay, here we go. Ba ba ba. All right, that's great there. All right, so we're good. Now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to add highlights in here. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. I'm going to take my sharp tool. I would take the texture pen, but I'm going to stick with the G pen now. Now watch what happens now when I take that to pure white. This is where, at least in my opinion, I think the magic begins to happen. You can look in and see how it just looks like a bunch of smudges because that's what it is. But watch this. Watch what happens here. And I'm going to move this to glow. And again, my reference for this was already out of focus anyway, so it's okay. But watch this. See what's happening? Just a little bit there. Not too much. Don't want to go crazy with it. There we go. Now, we'll go here under the. I don't have to reduce these down in effect. There we go. Let's see. Like that. I want to bring that over there just a little bit. Okay. Go here. Boom. Again, we're going to have to bump all of these down, but they give us a starting point, a subtle effect of there being light. right, let's try it again. I was very much impressed by this brother Chad Saunders, who I've been listening to, and he gets online and he just talks to the camera, and I thought that was so fascinating what he was doing. Now I didn't want to do that because I knew I could talk, but I could also draw to the camera, and that was just something that I felt like, okay, I want to be able to do that. But just all of this to say is that there are so that we do not live in the old world. That world is gone. The world of, oh well, everyone has to um, uh, you have to go through this person or this vendor has to give you the A-OK. It's just we're in a different world now. The parameters are different. All of that is different, and what it means is that people uh, systems and the way they're set up are completely different than what they were. And I think more opportunity than ever before has now come about. And it's something that I found myself gravitating to because now I don't have to ask permission for anyone to do anything or feel out of sorts because, oh man, they gave this person a chance but didn't give me a chance. None of that applies anymore. This is the level of opportunity out there to be a working artist and to be an artist that you know can maybe even make a statement. You know, it's very important. There you go. Now, right now, of course, as I'm laying these things down, it might seem kind of disturbing because it's like, well, hey man, what what in the world are you doing? And what I'm doing is allowing the lights. If I zoom out on this, you can already see there's something happening. But once that begins to bleed in, then it takes it to another level. Some of these highlights won't be so hot, but they will give the impression of hotness. Hot lights, blooms, things like that. There we go. Let's take this, bam, bam. There we go. Yep. Amazing how that works. Amazing how that works. All right, now we're going to get on the inside of the mouth here. And take that part there. I might need to go over that with a little pink, just like a small pale pink, not too much. There we go. There we go. Yep. All right. There we go. See here. Bam, bam, bam. Just a little bit there. All right, I'm liking that. All right, now watch this. Put this on his eye. See what happens once I put that glow on his eye? See what happens there? I'm going to take a little bit of light here, a little bit of light there. And I like to blend these now. Gotta blend them. Now, some people might ask, well, man, if you can do all this, why are you bothering utilizing AI? I use AI because I work in a medium that is meant for reproduction, meaning that original artwork is not the point. The point is you're producing work that is meant to be duplicated at a smaller size than you draw at. In fact, for many years, artists didn't even get that work back. I have projects that I did for directors in the past that they asked for the sketchbook, but it's like you didn't, I just didn't understand how important it was to keep a hold of my art. If I created it, it's mine. They might, they may own the idea, but they don't own the physical artwork because I'm the person that created it. So these are the type of things that I'm a heck of a lot clearer on. Let's go here, let's go there. And then we want to go on the side here. There we go. All right, now this section here underneath the eye, not too much, but enough. See what that's doing? All right, now we're going to do the other side here. There we go. Now, here, here, just a little bit, not too much. Now we're going to try this right here. Watch this. Now I know as I'm laying this stuff down, you're like, okay, but how is it the light is showing more? Again, some of the stuff I'm going to touch up and reduce in intensity. There we go. Side there. There we go. All right. There we go. All righty. So I think a little bit of that. All right. 11:42. Did not expect to go on this late. That's okay. It's a weekend. You want to stick with me? Feel free to. Alrighty. Right there. All right. And then we want to put a little bit on his neck here. Now, this is not done. I have to now smooth out these highlights. And once the highlights are smoothed out, you'll see what happens. Not too much there. A little bit there. And a little bit here. There we go. So let's zoom out now. I'm going to duplicate this just in case I screw that up. Duplicate layer. I'm going to move this down below. Turn that off. Okay, now let's start going here. I could go to blur, but I'm going to stick with blend. And I'm going to work my way up from the bottom. Matter of fact, let me duplicate that. Alright, so I'm going to duplicate it one more time. The reason why I want more intensity on the lights. So I might bunch up those layers. I mean, they maybe don't add anything directly, but they give you more working pixels. There we go. See? There we go. See what's happening here? See how that goes? Alright, now let's try here. There we go. Alright, see what's happening underneath the neck? And even the line strokes in there can provide you with implied details. It's very important that you have that. I mean, and of course, some of these things are not there featured because, again, you're not making an exact duplicate of life. What you're doing is embedding the spirit of your subject, if you can. That's the ideal. You can't always succeed. The goal is to embed the spirit of your subject. But yeah, I've done hundreds of portraits. I love doing them. It's an honor to do them. Honor to capture someone, even though God doesn't really know that I'm doing this. I don't know. I tag them. We'll see here. There we go. Just down a little bit. There we go. See? Oh yes, love that. Right. Side here. It's a little brighter. There we go. All right, there we go. All right, let's zoom out here. See a little bit better. Okay, not bad. There we go. All right, here. Oops. Gotta take it easy when you zoom out a little bit right there. There we go. Right now, that's set to normal, but we need to set that to glow. There we go. So you see when we set that to glow, you get a little blur. You still got to go in and tone some of this stuff down, but you can really add a lot of life to your drawing. There we go. Perhaps when I finish this, I'll tag subject. There we go. See? See what happened in the ear there? And of course, the edge of your ears get a little translucent because that's where the cartilage in your ear is a little bit shorter. It's a little bit thinner, at least, I should say. Not shorter, I meant thinner. Right? See? Light touch. All you're trying to, you could blur it, but it's just a light touch. See what that does? When you add that light touch, really makes that work kind of take on a lifelike tone. There we go. See what's happening? There you go. And yet some of the line work is still there, still visible. And again, as we go through this, you'll notice as I soften the edges, it doesn't read in every way as an illustration. It has the spirit of an illustration, but it's not an illustration. Right? And certain highlights are light enough, like these right here. These highlights will be darker on the top. Right? There we go. See what's happening here? There we go. Let's see here. Let's go through here and check. This right here is 10:48. I did not intend on going on this long tonight, but it's all good. Okay. I've been going for a while today. That's okay. I don't mind. Okay, no worries. Let's get back to this. Now watch this. Watch how I do this. See? See what's happening? Now it's providing a glow. We don't need a glow right there. And, but if you start with a glow, it's easier to take away than to add. That's an important thing. Let me save this. I never even bothered to save this thing. We're gonna go to our Dieselfunk dispatch thing. All that you on. There we go. All right, that is saved there. Let's get here. Yep. Alrighty. Get that nose there. I want to tone that down because the bottom of his nose doesn't have as much of a highlight as the top part. They all kind of look at that. See that? And do some of that stuff down, man. Really, really does take your drawing to a new level. See what's happening? See how his highlights there? Make it seem like if you just blur your eyes a little bit, it's quite fascinating what you can do with it. We're gonna go here. Get that sharp edge there. There we go. And keep it on the side there of his mouth. There we go. Oops. There you go. And of course, I'll go through this here and erase some of the stuff because it doesn't need to be as harsh again. But what we're doing here is we're just adding highlights. Of course, the lips are a little bit weird because they get and they have ridges. Most lips have ridges in them. See? Yep. And then all I gotta do is just go through and just add a little bit of breakdown on it. All right? There we go. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Tweak this a little bit. See how we almost getting there with his teeth here? There we go. Here. There we are. Yep. There we go. Go. Yep. There we go. Almost done, guys. Then we're going to go through, do a little bit of erasing, and then just a few post effects that will call this image done. And then I'll do my animations, which I will try my best to do in 3 to 5 minutes, no less. And you guys can go to bed if you're not already in bed. I'm liking this streaming thing, though. I gotta say it's quite enjoyable because I'm getting work done. I have to do this drawing anyway for graphic history hip hop. But I like the usefulness of it. How you use something, your work gets used. That's great. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Now, gotta get the bottom tooth here. That gets a little weird. Boom. And, 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 and. we go. All right, now I'm going to duplicate this layer here. As you can see here, obviously when I duplicated it, it doubled everything up. I don't want it to be that bright. So I'm going to take this down here, delete that layer. But I need to now go in with a soft airbrush eraser and just pull back on things like the edge of the ear there. See how that's pulling back there a little bit? When you pull back like that, what happens is that it makes the work appear more lifelike. See? I'm pulling back there underneath his nose. Now, I can keep the highlight on the nose, but you'll notice, see how just a little bit of that. Certain elements are brighter than others. See the cheek here? That needs to go down. The one on the back over there needs to go down. The one on the side of the mouth needs to go down, but we got to be careful. We don't want to overdo it. But we have the ability to reduce the the, uh, the element. All right, and go there. Yep. Let's turn that down just a little bit. See? I love that. Love that. Now, only thing I don't like is on his nose, there seems to be a black blemish, but I can remove that. See? Now, his lips, whoops, I think I did too much over there on his lips. So let's take this. Take it very easy. There we go. So even underneath this part here, we want to take that down a bit. Take this down here a bit. Take that down a little bit. All right, there we go. Now, I want to go here, and I'm going to erase that part of his nose. See what happened there? Because that was a little bit disturbing there. But that's it. That's it. I would say that is pretty much it. But I'm going to do two things here, and then we will see. Okay, now let's go through here. I'm just going to start to add little post effects. Post effects are good. Whoops, wrong layer. Did I get that on? Boom, bam. Okay, let's go up here. There we go. Add post effects. Let's add glow. That's good. So we need to go on one more. Post effects here. All right. All right. So the next layer here. There we go. Like that. All right, that's good. A little bit of kind of an artifact there. I don't know exactly what that is, but it's cool. All right, now I think we've got something going here pretty good. Now, one thing I want to do is this is where I add stuff that's not in the actual drawing. Watch this. Go here, go there. And what that does is that adds a little bit more glow to his eyes. But I can bump that down. See? So I bump that down. What it does adds a broader resolution. Now here, I'll take my airbrush, go through 10 thin twos here. There we go. Bam. Boom. Bam. Oops. All right. There we go. I like that. A little bit good. Here's one thing I'm going to do though. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to duplicate this image right there. Oh, that's kind of cool, but it's a little bit too. And I just want to go through here with a blur tool. With this blur tool, I'm going to soften the edges in his skin so he does not appear to have as many wrinkles. Just go through that very lightly. There we go. Very, very subtle effect. All right, go here, there. Okay, there we go. Okay, good. So now, here's where things might get a little bit interesting. Because I consider this pretty much done. Let's tap here a little bit. Now, this is where we do kind of an interesting effect shot. All right, so let's click here and Command Shift I. I don't know if it's going to work, but let's see what happens. I'm going to take a little blue, and right now there's a white light coming from below. But what I want to do, right on the top here, I want to add a little blue, very subtle blue. And I can take it down to where I want, but I want that blue coming right down the top. See? And I can desaturate this as I go on. And right here, here, there we go. Yep, a little bit there, a little bit here. It's a really subtle effect. There we go. Now watch this. Take this, and I'm not going to blur it. I'm actually going to blend this. Yeah. Yep. All right. Get this top part here. There we go. Okay, we're good there. See how that blue effect, when it touches it, let me turn it off. So that adds more life to it. Now watch how I do this. I'm going to go here to a color dodge. Color dodge, that was very interesting. But let's go here to low dodge, but I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. Yep, I like that. Now, I've got that, but here's where I'm going to do one more effect, and then we will call it a day. All right, I'm going to, because I can do this, this is what I'm going to do. Whoops. Take our brush here, and go right on the side here. Even though it's not in the drawing, it's implied that it's there. Go here, go right on the back there, right? here. All right, so what we're doing is effectively adding a kind of a backlight. Gotta take it easy with that though, because we don't want to go crazy with it. All right, watch this. All right, there we go. There you can go here. Go on the side there. Then we'll go on the side here again as well. What this is doing is adding a sort of dynamic light that's on the side, it's making him slightly backlit. Gotta take it easy now. All right, there we go. Take this here a little bit. This is just a little artistic flourish. All right, all right, good. Now we want to go through this here and blur these. Not that we don't want to go crazy with it, but we want to blur them just a little bit. See what's happening? Just a little bit of blurring. Just a little bit of blurring. There we go. So I go through this here and add that. Now watch this. Once I go through here with that, I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to try one thing here. Go underneath there, here on the side. See what it's doing? It's adding just a slight edge room. This is where you can take artistic chances on this stuff. It's not perfection. You're not looking for perfection. You're just looking for artistic little small suggestions. Now watch this. I'm going to duplicate this layer. See how that did? See what that did? That kind of doubled everything up. Take here, I'm going to merge these two layers. Now I'm going to select that to add glow. See what it is? And I can take all that down. See what that's doing? Right? Now watch this. Go here one more time, but this time I'm going to add right like that. Then I'm going to take this. Watch this, guys. This is where we can add. See that light is there? Let's go here a little brighter light there, right in the middle. See? So it's like he's slightly backlit, but watch this. When I go here, I can now erase off in here. And that just adds just a slight level of drama. See? Let's do this. Whoops. Ooh, didn't mean to do that too much. Let's go here. Now I can even go here to add glow. Watch this. See what happens? That's basically what we're doing here. I think the hands will be overkill at this point. I like that. I think with that, we're going to call this image here pretty much done. Go here to filter. And imagine having to do this 200 more times. There we go. But that's why they pay. Well, I guess they pay. All right, let's turn that opacity down there. There we go. All righty. And reduce that down to size. I don't want the signature to be too big. There we go. All right. Now, one last thing I could do, and I know I have a tendency to go in for the overkill. There's something about that bright light I like, but hold on. Let's see. Actually, if I do that, that's kind of interesting. All right, let me do one thing here. That's what that is. Bring that signature down here. I'm going to do one thing here. I probably shouldn't do it. I'm going to do one thing here. All right, watch what I'm about to do here. Relax, relax. It's all good. It's all good. All good. Yeah, there we go. All right. All right, now let's go here to filter. We are going to go on, uh, let's see here. Ah, that's interesting. Let's triangle right in the middle there. Yeah, strength would be pretty. Oh, wow, look at that. Let's turn the strength down on that pretty significantly. And let's set this to both directions. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? All right, let's turn that down there. All right, now, here's the thing I'm going to do. I'm going to take this, I'm going to spread that out even more. There we go. All right, I'm going to select outside of this here. Command Shift I. I'm going to go back to my stripes here, and I need to, oops, delete those guys. There we go. Now, I'm going to reduce these out quite a bit. Just a little, like, kind of suggestion of strobes of light. Yep. It's going to blend here. We're going to make that blend here pretty big, but also I'm going to go back to reselect. I'm going to do select, invert. So now I can actually blend those a little bit better. Photoshop is really great for this part, but I felt it was happening there. Right now, that's set to normal, but we're going to set it to add glow. Ah, look at that on the bottom. See? Let's go here, smooth that out a little bit. There we go. Turn that down a little bit. There we go. Alrighty. There we go. It has been a pleasure working with you guys tonight. It's been a pleasure producing work with you guys. Hey, what's happening there? Where's my signature? Did I get rid of this? I may have gotten rid of it. Oh, that's like that. Yeah, I may have gotten rid of my own signature. I think I did. All right, let's bring that back. Let's go give it a little slight cyan. We'll write it here. There we go. There we go. Okay, we can call this image here done. I think we're good there. I think we're good. Um, with that, it's been pretty good. I'm going to turn a little music on here so you guys can hear me closing this out. I want to thank you. Go to dieselfunk.com. Thank you, Eliane. And then here, I'll zoom in on this. We got that. That's pretty hot. I think I like that. Oh, I'm also going to put out a render of the animation. Whoa, look at that. I'm just seeing something wrong. It's amazing what happens when you zoom in, isn't it? Look at that. Oh, mistakes. But this is where we can come in here and do this kind of thing. Yes. Love it when the, there we go. That's a little bit better. Yep. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yep. All right, pretty good. All right, now we're going to Command S on that. All right, let's quickly go to Photoshop. Please. You see Photoshop, what we need you to do is we need you to subscribe and watch what I'm going to do here. When you go to subscribe, you see that interface down there, that thing down there at the bottom, this here? This is called the timeline. I don't know if you can see the timeline here, but basically, let me go back to this layer here. We're going to turn that off. And go here. Matter of fact, I'm going to delete that one. Go here. We're going to say that's up. All right, 5 seconds. And do another one here. That's for 5 seconds. This right here. We're going to have a blank layer. Nothing's actually there, but here, we're going to turn this guy here on. That's up for 5 seconds. Here, we're going to have that up for 2 seconds. Right? We say our subscription should be up for 5 seconds for sure, but we'll change it to a custom number. I'm going to change that up to 6 seconds. All right? Then we're going to go here to the next thing. We're going to turn that layer off. Now watch what happens here. We'll take these 3 frames here. There we go. I don't know. That worked. There we go. And go here. And select that. Then we're going to add some keyframes here as well. 3 frames. Now watch what happens. Go back to our original frame. Watch this. Oops. Too much. And go here. Sorry about that, guys. No delay. No delay. There. Hang on. You'll see what's happening. Go here. That's up for 6 seconds. This one right here will be up for 0.01. Then we have no delay. No delay. And no delay. Go here. There we go. Now we actually have our animation for our subscribe window. So we're going to stop that. Go here. We can go to File, Export As. Whoops, we don't want that. We're going to export render video. And we're going to save that, Dieselfunk Dispatch. We're going to call this DD_subscribe. Yes, render. Alright, so that video is rendering. Right, so we got that. So if I hit play here, there we go. I like that. So we now have this subscribe popping up like a pulse, and we'll have that on rotating. So we got that. I'm going to save this file here as DD_subscribe. I'm going to save this to our, if I could just get to the mouse over there. There it is. Save it in Dieselfunk dispatch. Very good. Okay. Now, I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to copy this image. So what I'm doing here is I'm working with this timeline feature, which unfortunately you can't. It looks like you can see the timeline here, which is not good. But that's okay. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to duplicate this. We're going to call this notifications. All right. Okay. So you have the ability in Photoshop to actually do animations with a sort of uh, uh, kind of a really, I wouldn't call it primitive, but it's like a keyframe. How long do you want a layer to be visible? It's quite interesting what it can do. All right, let me delete this one. This is our notification image here. I'm going to duplicate that. Whoops, hang on. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to duplicate this one. So I'm going to turn it like that, right? Right there. All right, I'm going to duplicate this again. Command T, and this one I'm going to go right there. All right? So I'm going to turn these off. Now I'm going to create another thing here. Oh, there we go. We turned everything off and on. Let's take all these here. We're going to turn them all off. Okay, delete. So we got this main one here. That's the one that's visible. I'm going to have that be up for 1 second. Oh, well, actually, we're going to have it be up. Well, the first one, actually, we won't have any there. And then we're going to click here. And then we're going to have our image come up for 2 seconds. All right, there's nothing there. Here we're going to turn this on. Yep, there we go. Now watch this, guys. So that's up for 0.2 seconds. We're going to go for our next frame. Whoops. We'll go here. Next frame. This one will be here. Yep. And then we're going to go again. And that one will have that one up. Right? And as a matter of fact, I'm going to delete this guy here. And this is our thing. So right now we're going to have no delay. No delay. Watch what happens. No delay. If I hit play, watch what happens. Aha! So this is a very simple way. I wish the interface was more visible here, but it's something that can happen. Let's see, we're going to go here. I'm going to duplicate this layer here. We'll leave this one up here for about 2 seconds. And that right there. So what will happen is this. Oops. Get rid of that. Yeah. There we go. I like that. Notifications. Very quick way to do animation in Photoshop without utilizing After Effects. We're going to go render video again. All right. And we're going to go render. And there we go. So we now have our graphics available for the website. Now utilize those pretty heavily next week. With that, thank you guys so much for everything. Dieselfunk Dispatch has survived another week, and we are good. We are good. Go to ending screen here. My name is Tim Fielder, visual Afrofuturist and graphic novelist. Boston Fielder is my brother who's musician. You hear his music now. Go to Bandcamp, buy his stuff. You can buy my books at Dieselfunk.com, Amazon, or where all fine books are sold. That'll be Infinitum and Afrofuturist Tale. You can get that from HarperCollins website for a little bit cheaper, actually. Maddie's Rocket, Diesel Funk Studios, and the Graphic History of Hip Hop from Graphic History Company. My partners, Christina Hansbrook, Lamatina, and Walter Grayson. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. Each day is better. Each day I learn something new. Just remember this one thing. Finishing creates opportunity. Thank you guys so much. Have a good one. Stay out of trouble. Love one another.